It's time for the internet connectivity dance where we wait for all the audio video connections. Doodle 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 doodle. I'm so happy to be here again. Hello, everyone. Today, as of the recording of this, it is Saturday, December 28th of 2024. Oh, my brain. And for those of you watching in the future, hello from the past. But I am happy to feature right now for you, the one, the only, Abby Franquemont.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. And it's the last Saturday of 2024. We are about to start a whole new year. And with all of that, we also have our relaunch of the Franquemont University structures and all that kind of stuff. We've worked hard to find ways to make things more accessible, more organized, easier to find, and more flexible and versatile. So we are hopeful that all of that is going to be cool for everybody. And so we're here today to do the Ask Me Anything, and we have a couple of advanced questions that came in. But yeah, anything, fair game, wide open. So lots of fun, big excitement, and here we are. How's everybody doing? How's everybody? Yeah, how is everybody? How are you all? Um, Hopefully doing great.
You woohooing on mute doesn't work.
What? What doesn't work on you?
Say, say woohoo! How are people doing?
Woohoo!
Woohoo! And I did it on mute. Silly me.
Woohoo! Yeah. It's not doing anything cool for me either right now. Anyway, so yeah, we've restructured, and that all takes effect as of January, which is, days away now. Days away. We're days from it being January. I can hardly believe it. In fact, I'm not sure I do believe it, but I my watch and my calendar and like everything says that's the deal. So anyway, why did we restructure? That's the first question. And one of the things that really pushed us to do it, that really drove us to do it, was that we were getting feedback that said it was hard for people to find and really dig into the 4 years worth of content that we have in the different courses and all that kind of stuff. And so we wanted to make things more accessible to new members who haven't been here from the very beginning, as well as making it easier for existing members, longstanding members, to find what they're looking for. And also, we got some feedback that said some people are only interested in spinning, some people are only interested in weaving, and some people are interested in both, plus all the other random stuff that we're going to try experimentally and all that kind of stuff. And so that meant reorganizing the library, coming up with the library memberships, and being able to make all of that kind of stuff more accessible, like I say, and also more accessible from a price perspective as well. So you can pick and choose if you don't want everything. So that means that there is a whole lot more flexibility. The other thing is, now that we haven't been in lockdown for a long time, and there's a lot of other interesting stuff we want to do. A lot of the stuff I'd like to do has to be recorded and edited rather than being live, because it happens. It's in kind of remote places. There isn't good cell signal. It's not strong enough to be able to do things live from some of the places that I want to go and show all of these amazing things, right? So that means I have to have a little more schedule flexibility, because everybody isn't going to be available Saturday at noon. And because some things are just going to be impossible to do without recording and then editing. So in order to be more flexible, schedule wise, for everybody producing the content, and in order to be able to offer the wider range of stuff that I really want to do, that became necessary. So those are our the driving forces behind our restructuring and relaunch. Plus also, you're just supposed to relaunch your stuff every like couple of years or whatever, and we haven't like really done a lot of the reorganizational stuff. We have a whole ton of content. Kat, you don't happen to have like a list off the top of your head of how much content we have, do you?
Let me see here. I know Vampy put together a summary list on the website to make it easy enough. Let me
Mhm.
see.
I remember off the top of my head, we have 123 hours of office hours because that was insane. But I think it was just shy of 100 spinning and about 40 weaving. It is all on the website in under the individual pages, but I must confess I can't remember all of it.
That's what we
That's a
have.
lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot. That's a whole lot of stuff. So we also had some pre-submitted questions about the structures of it. So let's get those out of the way real quick. Vampy, do you want to take point on letting us know what those are?
Yes, hang on a second. Let me just scroll through the million channels. Right. So if someone wants to change what tier they're on, how do they do it?
You'll need to go to the website, log in, cancel the existing membership that you have, and then purchase the new membership. And that is the only way to do it. We can't modify one type of membership and make it a different one. So that is the way to do that.
Excellent, nice and simple. If someone needs to drop out for a bit and then wants to renew their membership afterwards, do they then get access to the content that they missed when they weren't a member?
That depends on which membership you purchase when you come back. You're not gonna, it depends what membership you get and what the content is that happened while you were gone. So new content coming in is going to be organized into the spinning track or the weaving track. And then there's also the sponsor track, and the sponsor level will get absolutely everything because that's what's gonna fund being able to do some of the further ranging filming and recording and doing all that kind of stuff. So there are going to be special events and special lives and special content that is available first for sponsors, and then eventually down the road that's going to get sorted into other tracks and so forth. So it depends. If you want to come back and be sure you're getting absolutely everything, then you'll want to get the sponsor membership, and that will immediately give you everything, even the stuff that is still sponsor level only. Stuff will rotate into being available for regular members who are not at the higher sponsor tier, as as we work through the content and keep managing the library. We have really high expectations that this is going to be a lot more straightforward for us to manage and sort through and keep things organized. So I hope that answers the question.
And if you are not a sponsor member, but you see coming up something really, really awesome that you just can't miss, is there a way to pay the additional fee then and come along to this sponsor only session?
Yeah, so that's going to be on a case by case basis. We're going to offer some opportunities to come in and buy those things on a one-off basis. They will probably be more expensive as a one-off thing than buying a membership. But it's gonna depend on what those things are and what our costs are in producing them and so forth, and the logistics for all of that kind of stuff. So every individual thing is eventually going to be available, but not live to non-sponsors. And they're going to be priced individually as we do them as well, because
Hard to guess
that's
in
right.
advance.
Right.
Oh yeah, it depends how long it takes and how far you have to travel and how many extra people
Right.
you have to pay and who
Right.
knows.
Right, because so if we have enough sponsor members, we'll be able to do more live things from the field and all that kind of stuff, because the expectation is that I'm going to be able to pay people to come do better videography while we are in the field and doing a whole lot of that kind of stuff. So we're working on doing all of that kind of stuff. We are going to announce whatever those events are with 2 weeks advance notice, generally speaking. But there's going to be pop-up stuff for sponsor members. So sponsor members may get notifications that say, hey, guess what? Everybody, we have this thing coming up on Sunday, or we're going to be able to do a live on Wednesday night about this event that's happening or things like that. So we're gonna be able to do things like go do museum tours, exhibits, more interviews, more talking to a variety of different people in the field, as well as bringing other people in to do some additional content for us. Present.
Fantastic. Finally, focused interest groups. What about them?
Okay. So the focused interest groups are, well, focused. So that means that they are either spinning or weaving, and so they go into the spinning or weaving memberships. If you want to have access to all of them, again, that's at the higher level. But yeah, so those are included in the spinning track or the weaving track, depending on if you choose a single track membership. And they're sorted into that for library purposes.
Excellent. And the memberships come with one live office hours session per month. When's that going to be?
Well, so we are, we've got a poll going up to talk about when exactly works well for everybody. Because as it's working out, Saturday at noon is getting harder and harder to schedule things for, and a lot of that kind of stuff. So we have a poll. Please make sure that you go and look at the poll and weigh in. And we're going to figure out when the live office hours is. And, this is a work in progress as well. So if we need to shuffle things around because of people's schedules and when people can make it, and that stuff we're open to, but we really are going to need your input on that poll. And that poll is going to be in class announcements, right, Vampy?
Yes, I'll put it in class announcements. I can do it right this second. I just didn't want to put it up without having it been mentioned here first, because then people will be like, what the hell are we talking about?
Right.
Okay, those were all our advanced questions.
Oh, and the one other thing is, if you want to continue with the membership that you have now, you don't have to change anything, and it will continue essentially the same, but you won't have access to the new sponsor content. You'll get the recordings.
You'll still get all the recordings. You'll get all your Discord channels. You'll get your office hours once a month. So you'll still get everything you've already had.
But you won't get the new sponsor level content,
Exciting
which is
stuff.
going to be some of which is going to be very cool. Because we're going to be able to do things like go to spinning contests, go to weaving exhibits, go to have special classes conducted just for us, things like that.
And before we started here today, you said you've got a couple of things in mind for January. Are you going to pick one, or are you going to let the
Yeah,
community pick?
I think what we're probably gonna do is look at is give everyone a poll in the first couple of days of January. So like a couple of days from now, we might even start it early, regarding whether you want to do more braiding or more weaving for January.
And about braiding.
Hopefully folks have enjoyed the braiding. I've gotten some good feedback from it so far, but always want to hear more.
I have a question
really
about
good fun. Oh, sorry, you go, Kat.
Are you able to actually hear me now? I wasn't sure if I was coming through before.
Yeah.
I have a question about the braiding. Typically, at what age or cohort group do people start playing with sling braids or other braids?
Well, so it kind of depends on the town, but I'm going to say 8, 9, 10 is probably typical. In some towns, it's mainly boys who do it, and some towns it's everybody. It really varies.
When did you learn sling braiding of any sort?
I first learned to do some when I was 8. I had learned some different kinds of complex braids before that, but the sling braids, the 3-dimensional ones, I was 8 or 9.
We've seen a lot of fun pictures of people making these little, these little dangly pom-pommy things. I think braids are really stupid. Well, I think pom-pommy things are really stupid. I have no need for them at all. But they're so addictive and they're so fun to make, and I love them. And I'm not quite sure what that says about me, that I'm addicted to something I think is pointless, but they're really, really fun to do. So
Well, I mean, you know, entertainment is a thing. It's okay to do stuff for entertainment, right? Like, I mean, people pay money to go to the movies or play video games or stuff like that, and that doesn't like really have a point exactly.
that's true. I have a better end result with this than I do for the video game I've been obsessed with for the last week. So yes, thank you. All right, we have a question in the chat. If we
Okay.
plan to switch levels, should we do it now or after the 1st of January? And
From my perspective, before the 1st of January is better, so that we know how many people we have in which tier and that kind of stuff, and so that we can start getting polls out for specific things that are going to be for those specific tiers.
the second part of the question, I might as well answer. She wants to know if changing levels affects your start date and your forever access to some materials. And no, it doesn't. It's just the people who started right at the very start of FU when we only had spinning 1 to 4. That was what they signed up for. So you have forever access to that. And what you do now doesn't change your forever access to that. It's only the later sign-ups who kind of got that thrown in free while they are a member that will not have forever access if they're not still a spinning member.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense, Bonnie? Excellent. Do we have any more questions either about this new setup or anything fibre related or anything non-fibre related?
Well, anything at all, really, because it's
Abby
asking me
to talk to you
anything.
about. Oh, we've got a couple of hands up. Right, I'll go to Bonnie first because she's first on my screen, and then we'll do Alice afterwards.
Sorry, just because I can talk faster than I can type. And hi, Abby. So
Hi,
just
how's it going?
hey, excellent. I'm wrapping my and looking forward, by the way, to a trip to Chile next month to visit my niece. So not too far from you in the global scheme. Just wrapping my head around this stuff. I think I maintained some kind of a Patreon membership that theoretically was, I don't even know what it was for. But anyway, it seems like it was supposed to be that some kind of special stuff would happen. I don't remember. But it seems like probably, if given what my intent was, canceling that and taking the sponsor membership upgrade part would seem to be make align better with the intent of what some of those Patreon things were, and you get more money out of it, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that is true. Patreon takes a much bigger chunk and it keeps taking bigger and bigger chunks. So what I'm doing with the Patreon, and I have to announce that tomorrow, is what I'm doing with the Patreon is I'm moving that to be a lot more writing focused. So that's going to be focusing on articles, memoir, and cultural sort of writing stuff. So it's going to have less of a fiber focus. Not exactly less of a fiber focus, but it's going to include a lot more kinds of stuff, because one of the things that I've heard from Patreon members is that they have really been hoping for more written content and more things to read and more of the memoir type stuff that I was planning on working on 6 years ago.
Yeah, 6 years ago.
So that is so in order to that's another reason for some of the restructuring of all of these kinds of things, is to be able to do some of that kind of stuff. And so Franquemont University is going to stay much more focused, and Patreon is going to be, well, also focused, but on sort of the memoir and cultural stuff and a lot of that kind of writing stuff that people have really been asking me for more of, and I haven't had the time or the organizational kind of framework to fit that in. So that's what's going to be happening there. So Patreon is also getting a restructure.
Very exciting. Right, let's go to Alice, who also had a question.
Okay. One of the things that happened under the previous structure was that before each renewal period, there was like a listing of what the content would be in the upcoming trimester. So if people's finances were tight, for instance, they had an informed basis to decide how badly they wanted to continue or take a break. Will we be getting that kind of information under the new structure?
We're going to be giving that information on a month-by-month basis at the start of things because it's harder to program full trimesters. In some cases, we're going to know that something is scheduling like 3 months out and that kind of stuff, but it's not going to be exactly the same as how it was like right at the outset when we said we're going to do this class this month and this class the next month and that kind of thing. And some of that is because there's so much class content that keeping it fresh and keeping new things going is trickier than it used to be as well. So, you know, we are still going to be doing all of that, but we are shifting those memberships to quarterly. So that also means that the time frame is different as opposed to being trimesters.
But those who are already on trimesters will have to manually
Right.
cancel and re-sign up to go to quarterly if they want to.
If you want to, but if you already have a membership, you can keep it exactly how it is. You do not have to change it. The big thing is we wanted to add in new membership structures that allow new folks to really dig into content that some of the feedback we've gotten is that it's been hard to work your way through and find all that sort of thing. So that's where that is at. I mean, my hope is kind of that we're going to see strong take up on this stuff and that that moving to quarters is going to be more approachable for more people. But you know, we're gonna have to see how it goes as well.
If I could just jump in here as well, someone already spotlighted me. Thank you, Kat. Abby has mentioned a couple of times that people were saying they were having trouble finding things. Well, for new members, when they sign up, they get a handy little link in their email saying, this is where all the videos are found on the website. It's still on Discord, it's still pinned in all the channels, but you won't necessarily have to sort through all the channels in Discord to look for your pinned things. We've got video playlists all up on the website now. I will post in I think it's called Sustaining Members channel, the channel that's for members only anyway, with links to these things, and they will work for anyone who has a membership through the website. You will get the access that whatever your membership says. If you're one of the old people who's only signed up through Square, then I'm afraid it won't work for you. But I think we try to migrate you all over to the website, so there shouldn't be that many.
Right. Yeah, for ease of administration, it would really be good if we could move everybody who is still on Square billing over to the website membership, which works a lot better for us for a lot of different reasons. And among them are the new landing pages that link you to all the different stuff that you've got. And that's been a ton of work organizing all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, so the new memberships, like I say, if you want to switch to them, it's going to come out financially about the same or cheaper depending on what you go with. But the billing frequency may change if you change from trimester to quarterly. And also the new memberships are not available on a trimester basis, only on monthly or quarterly.
It's all nice and automated through the website. It adds Discord roles automatically. It gives you access to all your videos through the site automatically. So hopefully it should be slightly easier to navigate for those of you who aren't as tech savvy as the others. But please do still come to Discord, even if you don't need to for the pins, because the community is amazing. You have your little courtyard of friends, and you'll have questions from Abby, like what session do you want next month that you won't be able to answer if you're not in Discord. So we still want you there. We've just made it a bit easier for you to find things.
Yeah, we've gotten varying feedback on Discord and its ease of use as well. From our perspective, Discord is, you know, pretty straightforward to administer and run, but we try to be responsive to what we hear from everybody who's a member.
Do we have any more questions? I mean, we've had a couple in the chat that I just answered. Sarah asked if you can pay monthly for the higher tier. And yes, you can. You can pay monthly or quarterly for all the tiers. And Belinda asked if things go sideways during the search, can we still email faculty for help? And yes, of course you can.
Well, yeah, absolutely. We're not taking away help in any way, shape, or form. But we are, like I say, the whole objective here is to make this more approachable to more people. And there really, at the outset, there really wasn't a model that was like this at all. I don't know if there is still today, but we're really trying to make it as approachable as we possibly can and as flexible, and to speak to all of the various different kinds of feedback that we've gotten over the years, not just like recently, but over the years, keeping it all together.
Oh, yes, Diana has a question that is something I've not thought about, so maybe you've not thought about it. But what about shenanigans?
Well, we talked about it briefly, and we're like, we're still going to have shenanigans somehow, but we don't know exactly what form that's going to take. So probably what we will do is like a twice annual shenanigans that is included in the sponsor tier, and we have to look at exactly how to structure that, because we'd like to have it be able to run concurrent with whatever other stuff we're doing, but we're looking at the logistics in it. A lot of things were much easier to schedule and figure out when everybody was locked down, and that kind of stuff. And so now the logistics on some of these things shifts a little bit, but we're not going to make shenanigans go away.
I owe you a shenanigans reveal. The 2-month shenanigans, many people entered, and then my life went to bloop. So I get to recover from a little bit of bloop and give you a big, huge shenanigans reveal, and we'll make sure. Yes, I have just answered Sarah's question. We will make sure that it has wide distribution for the fun and frivolity of it all, and that's more still to figure out the administration of the thing. I'll give you the big.
Yeah. So we're talking about making the shenanigans wrap up video something that we make public, so that but we want to make sure everyone is okay with that beforehand, and so that would be starting with the next shenanigans, not this one. I think that was what we talked about, right, Kat?
Be flexible, so we will come up with a solution for everyone.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe the general public won't want to see a really long shenanigans wrap up anyway, so maybe we can do a nice short little edited version with no faces, no real names or anything. So then we get the best of both worlds. If I'm not
Yeah.
just putting too much extra work on Cat for editing an entire.
Well, we're just gonna throw lots of extra work on Kat. That's like so much of our general game plan right now is just, hey, Kat, you know what we should do?
Should do. Which means, actually, I will say something about this. I have an idea brewing, and it's not fully thought out. So, I am thinking about making basically little courtyard games throughout the year where I come to the spinning track people and I'm like, spinning library, let's have some watch parties. Let's have some spinning two matrices. Let's have some spin thin, spin fat, and just basically fun and frivolity in the courtyard for spinning track content. And then run over to the weaving track and say, weaving track, let's have some fun and frivolity. Let's have some watch parties. Let's have some crazy courtyard games. So this is what I'm brewing in my head. Now, if you are interested in jumping in and playing some little courtyard games on a spinning track or on a weaving track, if Sarah wants to run down and make a bunch of swarps and we're all swapping our warps with each other and swarping up a storm, absolutely. We want to still encourage people having fun with their crafting. We've got this massive library, and so you've got a library card and you have access to everything. But there are still events that happen at the library that make it fun to come into the library. And so, with that
Yeah.
kind of feeling, I want to make little library party fun, treasure hunty times together. I still want to see your progress. If somebody is like, you know what I really want to do? I really want to do spinning 1, 2, 3 left-handed. Let's see how many people want to join me for left-handed, or I want to switch to entirely flax this year, or I want to switch to entirely cotton this year. And you can invite your friends to join you on these. I'm also going to end up making, because I'm a calendar person, major festival and project things on a calendar of activities so that if I know it's Tour de Fleece, maybe it's a Tour de Fleece based silliness because people are already doing that. If it's
Mhm.
Sock Madness time, let's support Vampy and some Sock Madness. If it
Yeah.
is, so we want to do that kind of thing as well because the
Mhm.
community impact with each other makes the studying and the doing more fun, as I see.
Yeah, our feeling is that our feeling is that is that we're going to get more accessibility out of the way that we're restructuring this kind of stuff and more flexibility. So we're going to be able to do stuff that ties in with, real world events around the planet and that kind of stuff. And
Competitions in Peru. Like, as you know, there's a competition coming up. We can play along with our companions on social media.
Mhm. Other questions?
Yeah, Belinda asks, is it safe to assume that anyone at any level, even the lowest, will get all the advertising for upcoming events or the fun stuff that Kat just mentioned so that we can pop back into higher levels as needed?
Yeah, I mean, that's the idea. We're not trying to make stuff like secretive or anything like that. But for me, my biggest fear with all of this is everyone's going to say, "Oh no, I hate Franquemont University now. I quit. I'm never coming back." So, we're highly motivated to make that not be the case and all of that. But we do need it to generate a little bit more revenue. Revenues have declined as well, and so looking into why that was happening, it is not as accessible as it could be to a lot of people out there who have gotten used to taking online courses and being part of an online school. But that the model that we've had doesn't work for them for one reason or another. So, we're gonna make sure that stuff is announced in announcements so that you can come and join in. And certainly that's gonna be true for things that are gonna be available on a one-off basis and all of that kind of stuff as well.
I've just been to the announcements and I've got the numbers in there. We've done 78 spinning sessions, 35 weaving sessions, and 123 office hours, plus a few like we did the dye day and we did some live weaving as well. So hours and hours and hours of content.
Oh no, fire trucks.
You have
Yes.
fire trucks now? They're
Can,
not. Zoom is
does
actually
everyone hear it?
suppressing them. No,
Does
not at
everyone
all.
hear it? Or is Zoom's noise canceling good enough to,
Zoom is good. It's too
yeah,
good.
Yeah,
too
so
good?
we haven't heard random beeping from there either for a while. I think Zoom's upped its game. It used to be beeping all the time when you were at that apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well, I have a different fiber optic internet now than I used to, so much higher end and all of that kind of stuff. So,
Any more questions?
and they can be about anything, I mean, you know, feel free to ask, anything, you know, what I'm going to do for my birthday. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's your birthday soon, isn't it? I'd
Yeah.
forgotten. Yay, birthday!
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, front door.
So one of the other things we're looking at trying to figure out how to do is bring some of the cooking and food stuff back in. So there's going to be like some virtual food tourism events and some of that kind of stuff. Uh and and you know and that kind of stuff. So all right, do we have any other questions? I am reviewing.
Old time's sake. Any good rants for old time's sake?
Oh boy. I don't know. I didn't have a rant prepared. Um I'm gonna be completely transparent and completely honest about all of this. This has been so much work for all of us, and it's been downright terrifying And like I say, my big fear is everyone's going to be like, oh no, I hate Franquemont University now, I quit. And then I'm not going to like be able to have a community, and I'm not going to be able to make a living, and I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'm totally paranoid and terrified about that. So please help me out and like tell your friends and all of that kind of stuff. Hey, guess what? You know, the online school that I go to now has new options and all of that kind of stuff. You know, I'm really hopeful for for how well this is going to go and everything. We really think it's a good idea and stuff, but yeah, it's, you know, it's change. We fear change, right?
So much change. Oh, what classes would you want to see in the future? That's important for all of you to give us feedback.
Yeah, it's very important. One of the things that has made that has made Franquemont University really special is being able to be responsive to what people are interested in and stuff, and also to be able to work flexibly. So like the Andean weaving content, you know, I wasn't sure at the outset that it was going to work, and it's worked really well, and people have done spectacularly well working through all of that. And we are the only place online in English in person at all where you can take these kinds of classes and learn this kind of stuff authentically. I mean, yes, there are some things out there that publish like, you know, how to work from a chart and do something that looks like some of these patterns, but not that actually gets into really doing the techniques. And I'm you know, I'm stunned that we've been able to make it work so well.
And that links into Sarah's question. Are you proud of everyone who proved you wrong that we can learn this stuff online?
I really am. I'm super proud. And, you know, I show people here, you know, look, this is what my students are doing. And they're like, how? How is this possible? And I'm like,
And you're proud of
because they're
yourself as
awesome.
well, I hope.
No, I am never proud of myself, right? I am actually never proud of myself. I am only not ashamed.
Well, that's a good first step. But come on, you've taught us all to do this thing. You're the only person in the world who has done this thing, and you've done it in less time than we would have taken when we were 5. Which, yeah, fair enough. But still, you've done a lot. It's fantastic.
Well, you know, I'm not good at looking at my own work and seeing things that way.
But is
I
Nilda
really
proud
am
of
not.
you after telling you?
It's like Respect the Spindle has been in print for 15 years as of November of 2024. And it has sold over 150,000 copies. And so that is staggering for any book in any genre and all of that kind of stuff. And I'm just starting to kind of feel like solidly like, yeah, you know, that's an achievement.
Well, good job.
But
I'm
I,
really
you
proud
know,
of you. And I'm sure Nilda must be proud of you after telling you you had to become a teacher. You're the only person who can do it. And
oh,
you've
I don't know. I don't know.
done.
I really don't.
Oh, your microphone stopped working again, Kat.
Yes, can you hear this?
Yes.
All right.
Mhm.
Well, I'm going to be proud of you for a moment because you said like little tiny things where I could hear them and they clicked. Things like, look, once you know how to do this, you're going to have chores and you're going to have to support the community and you're going to have to help the 5-year-olds. And I'm like, okay, so I will just have to do that. So I want to speak to those weavers out here who you've got your tankachoro down, you've got your 4 pairs down, you're playing with all the yakaku sisan, you're building up to your reflected 8 pairs of 4x4, you know, mirrored in different images. You have chores. You have chores to help support the 5-year-olds. So I want to encourage all of you that you can contribute to the communities, but I want to give credit to Abby for having told me that that was a thing and that it was worth doing, it was worth investing in because she was raised in a community that told her, no, you have to go do this. And it was worth doing. So here we are now, a vibrant and healthy community of spinners and weavers. I finally learned the lesson that you can't make a good weaver without making a good spinner. because they're just intrinsically tied together. When you already have the confidence of knowing that you can spin exactly the kind of thread you want. I'm so tired of YouTube showing me hack spinners going, well, I can only make what the yarn tells me to make. I'm at the mercy of this fiber. It just wants to do this, so I can't do anything about it. It's only this, and all the other terrible hack myths that are out there, which I know you all know what I'm talking about. Oh, it's not balanced. Oh, you have to count all your treadles and but instead, you go through our spinning tracks, you become a twist master, you have the power over the fiber. That came from you, Abby. That came from you, Abby, and you should be proud of that. And you should all be proud of yourselves for becoming the kind of twist master you want to be and continuing to improve those skills over time. So much spinning library content you can use to do that. Then when you have that power, of course, when you become a weaver, you're vampy one day thinking, oh, well, how do I just modify these other yarns with the right amount of twist? Wait a minute. What am I even saying? I make the yarn. I just make the yarn. I make the right yarn correctly. And then she becomes this weaving peer of mine that I'm jealous of, how much she can weave. And that's where the community just continues to share with one another what we've learned, discovered, made, and that enthusiasm and excitement will rub off on others. But Abby, you started it. You started this avalanche. You should be proud of yourself. I'm proud of what you've done to get us here. I'm proud of where you want to take us next. And I'm super proud of this entire courtyard community, even those of you who had just joined us, watching this in future times and listening to past me tell you that I'm proud of you. You're awesome. Come show off some photos on Discord and in social media and tag things about how you're learning it culturally in the right context. And anyone could actually, by practicing, making their fingers smart, weave without a chart, because it's been done for thousands of years. So I'm just saying that's a little bit of a cat rant for a moment. I got enthusiastic about a cat rant, and then I will hand it back to Abby again. Sorry about that.
But I don't think we don't notice, before we go back to Abby, we notice your progress. Kat and I often do sneaky PMs going, oh my God, have you seen this picture in this channel? That person a year ago, look at their yarn now, they're doing amazingly. So even if we don't necessarily show you up in front of the class going, oh, look at this person, we notice, and we are secretly behind the scenes very proud when we can see progress in your work, or even just finishing things, because finishing things is hard. So we are very, very proud.
Yeah, it is.
And with that, Abby.
So I am proud of all of you. I am proud of everybody who's come here to learn and progress, and all of the achievements that you've reached, and all of that kind of stuff. But it's hard for me to look at that and see that as being my achievement, right? It's like being a mom. I joked once upon a time, except it wasn't funny, so it wasn't really a joke. That when you're a mom, everything bad that happens to your kid, you think is your fault, but everything good that your kid accomplishes, you're like, well, they did it.
Well, you put us all on the right track. We can't say, oh, we did no effort and it's all Abby's fault. But likewise, we can't say it's all our own fault and Abby did nothing. It's a combination of your teaching style and your effort and our effort and doing the thing, lots and lots of doing the thing, that means you've got a big community of textile artists growing up around you, and it wouldn't have happened without you.
Well, doing the thing. It's all about doing the thing, and it's all about doing the thing. That you know what, doing the thing was the central theme of 2024 for me. Like, okay, I have to do the thing. So there's so many different things that I've had to just make sure that I am actually handling, and all of that kind of stuff. So, it's just been a lot.
And as Alice said, the attitude towards the thing is also important.
Well, my attitude towards many of the things that I've had to just do in 2024 is not very good.
Yeah, well,
It's
that's not quite the same sort of attitude as you would have towards spinning, I would hope.
no, no. Spinning is good because it centers you. It helps you find your zen or what have you, and a lot of that kind of stuff. But yeah, 2024 was a crazy year for me. I would like to start referring to it in the past tense, even though we have a few days of it left. But
Well, again, like the year before, you had to go to the dentist way too many times. Your attitude to that is completely
wait a
different to
minute.
spinning.
Right. Oh, but yeah, so I actually had a period of so much stress in October that I apparently was grinding my teeth in my sleep, and I cracked my jaw around an implant, and the implant had to be removed. And now I'm going through bone grafting, and
Yeah, so stop doing that.
yeah, because implants are like titanium and stuff, and so they don't break. What breaks is the jaw around it. It's not really that common. And basically the only thing that does it is grinding your teeth at night. Well, you could use your teeth for tools, but you really shouldn't. But
Yeah,
yeah.
don't do that
So
either.
anyway, so that was pretty epic. That was one of my favorite parts, not of 2024.
Well,
Breaking
as
my jaw, grinding
to
my teeth.
5, I'm looking forward to many more awesome things and very few of these levels of break your jaw moments.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, don't do that.
When I said I wanted new experiences in my life, that's not what I was thinking of.
But you've been learning tennis, and that's been new
Oh,
experience.
I have. That's been so yeah, I have an athletic thing I can do now for exercise, and so that's good. So I've been having a good attitude about that. I played in the half the year tournament here at the small tennis club here in Cusco, and I ended the season 0 wins and 16 losses.
That
But
means you
my
played
goal
at least 16 times,
it
which is
was it was all 16 it was all 16 matches. Now I know how to play a tennis match. So, there's all of that. And it turns out that's something I can do with bad knees and no abdominal muscles and like all of these other kinds of things. And so I suck at it, but bit by bit
it's
I'm
good for you to be a beginner.
it is. And I remember I have the rule for myself that every year I have to try to learn something new that requires practice and be a beginner and go through that whole process so that I stay in touch with that as a teacher and all that kind of thing. And for 2024, it was tennis. A friend of mine convinced me to try tennis, and I'm
We
going to
get to
stick with
vote
it.
on what you do for 2025.
Make suggestions because I haven't decided yet. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, and Bonnie says it's good that you're able to enjoy something that you're not good at. And yes, and
Well,
keep
that's
doing it,
that's
you
really
will be
it's
good at it.
really it's really important because the thing is anything that's worth doing is worth doing badly in the beginning because that's the only way you get good at it. Well, okay, maybe there are some people who start something and they're just naturals and they're great at it right off the bat, but my experience is that is not the case, right? I've been thinking a lot about that, right? And somebody said to me in November, well, I mean, I'm not like you. It's not like all these things just come easy to me. And I kind of laughed it off when they said it, but it got in my head, right? And I'm mad about it because there's like I don't think anything in my life has ever just come easy. Everything has been work. Everything has been effort. Okay, I learned to read at a young age, and that came pretty easy. Other than
You said
that,
you were a naturally good weaver. You were a not good spinner, but you were good at weaving.
I was a pretty good weaver. Like, I mean, I was a good weaver, like in the context of where I was and all of that kind of thing. But it wasn't like it just came naturally exactly. I mean, I still had to work at it, right? Like it didn't just happen. You know.
And Sarah wants to know if there's any update on that stupid missing box of warps that got eaten.
No, I'm still trying, and I'm afraid the situation there is like is going to be like the shipment that went to Cat and arrived 3 years later. So there's some. I'm trying to be as chill as I can about it. I go to DHL kind of monthly and check in about it, and we're having all of those things remade, and we're gonna ship new ones, and so we're gonna send that hand carried.
There
It's to come
will
up
be
with-
warps, not the original warps which have disappeared,
Yep.
but there will be warps.
Yeah, and so some of that is why I'm discontinuing sales of physical products as well, and why because it's just turned out to be a bigger logistical nightmare than we expected it to be, unfortunately. So, oh, that reminds me, please go take advantage of the last minute shopportunity, because there's only days of it left, and then there's not going to be spindles and stuff like that on the website anymore, because we're discontinuing it. The only thing there's going to be are weaving class supplies. So please go help me clear out all that inventory so that it doesn't just have to end up sitting in a warehouse like, you know, the Lost Ark and Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Any more questions? I mean, we've been going for an hour, so that's about the time we normally spend, and I think we've covered everything about the new setup. And if you have any questions, there's always the tech support channel on Discord and the faculty email.
Yeah.
address.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, and
hopefully it's
we're
all
happy
clear.
to answer questions, but I think that's about it.
Thank you, everyone here. Let's see each other in a brand new year with brand new stuff.
Yay! Looking forward to it. And again, tell your friends, help me bring in new people to the new structures. And again, please really help me with a big push to move out all of the inventory that we have with Sasha, which she is going to box up and put into deep storage and send to deep storage for me.
And vote on the poll about what times you can make.
Yep. So those are our action items, and we will be announcing exactly what the schedule is in the first week of the year.
Have a fantastic new year, Abby and everybody else.
Thank you.
Bye bye.